Hey, I have a word for somebody. And this relates to me as well because I never want to get on here to pretend like I'm somebody else and to pretend that like I'm not human and to pretend like I don't go through things just because I get on to give someone else a word. Oftentimes, the word that I give to you, it applies to me as well. I never want to think so highly and so suchy muchy that I'm so deep that my life is so perfect and that at the snap of my fingers, God is moving and doing and I'm a child of God just like many of you are, so it is a process. And so this morning I was having this conversation with God, which I've had before. Is like, God, when is this gonna happen? Or how is this going to happen, or what are you doing about this? Just simple conversations that I'm having with God. I'm asking him things because as me being his child, I'm looking for an answer, I'm looking for a response. And so one of the things that he highlighted to me this morning is that me being a mother and having three children is that I had to learn them. I had to learn their ways. So if when Pear was a baby, if Pear was crying, in particular as a new mom, I had to figure out what was going on with her. So in the early stages, it was just like, oh, Pear is hungry, or TJ or Tyrone, they're hungry. So I began to learn the signs of when to feed them, and then if they were wet, if they were poopy, their pamper needed to be changed. There were signals that helped me address that. And then there were times where it was just like, I don't know what was going on. And then, and I know for me being a child, one of the disciplinary actions or the tough loves that we would show to a child is we would say, let them cry. And when we say let them cry, it wasn't to harm the child. It was to let the child know that you don't get your way, or the child could have been forming habits in a way what would make the child, as we would say, spoil. That the child learned that whenever I cry, my mom or my dad would just, or grandmom, grandpa, whomever would just pick me up, because that's how I can kind of like control the situation. Little babies be knowing. It's like, if I say when, somebody's going to pick me up, or won't even just put me down to give me time. And we would say, let them cry. And we would say it as a form of they're stretching their lungs, they're developing their lungs, or we're teaching them that they can't just cry and at the drop of a dime, they get their way. And so God is saying, that's how I do with you as my children. He says, every time that when I'm calling you to another level, when I'm taking you from level to level and from glory to glory, you know what I mean? There's a stretching that happens. There's a tearing away. There's this what we sometimes feel in the natural, that I'm creating this like distance, but I'm really not creating a natural distance. It's a spiritual stretching, that I'm stretching you, and to not just be looking for my hand. I want you to trust me, God. Trust me as your father. Trust that I know what I am doing. And then he's saying to us that I want you to not just think that it's a 1, 2, 3 and God's going to do. It's a no matter what he's got, no matter what, he's still the same, no matter what, he doesn't change. And that he's building a resistance, a tolerance for us to say, I still know that he's going to do it no matter what. It may not happen right now because I want it to happen right now, but because he said it's going to happen, I know that it's going to happen. And that's what little children learn from their parents, is that, oh, they're not picking me up right now, but eventually they're going to say, oh, you're going to stop crying. And then they're going to pick you up and reward you and say, like, see, oh, mommy's right here. Oh, daddy's right here. And that's what God is going to say to you in this season. And I'm not saying that this word is for everybody, but there are some of you that God has spoken a word over, and you are believing him for that promise, and he's going to do it, because he's going to say, oh, I'm right here. And then you're going to say, here you go. He's going to say, and here you go. And then you're going to be able to say that it was nobody but God. But right now, he's probably just saying to you, let him cry. I pray this word blesses someone, because it sure blessed me.